Hi, and welcome to Quirky Books with Katie. Today I'm going to be talking about banned books. So I don't know if any of you guys know, but this week from September 22nd to September 28th, it is Banned Books Week. And this idea was created by ALA. And what the purpose of this week is to kind of shed some light on banned books and the topic of censorship. And I was reading a lot about this yesterday, and I found the topic fascinating. And I made a few blog posts about it, and I decided to make a video about it. So this video is kind of going to be a hodgepodge of things all related to banned books. So first off is my opinion on banned books. Now this is going to be my personal opinion. I'm not saying that what I say is right. This is just my opinion, and I'm not saying it to offend anybody. Personally, I do not believe in banning books. I understand the reasons for the banning of books. On the ALA website, they have a ton of great resources. You guys should definitely check it out. And it said that the top 2 reasons for banning books is sexual content and violence. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this about me, but I was raised very religious. I went to Catholic school for 9 years, so very, very strict there. I was really not exposed to a lot of things. So I feel like I kind of have a different perspective on things because I do understand why things are banned. But the reason I don't believe in the banning of books is I believe it is a person's job to obtain information and read whatever they want. It is not someone else's job to tell them what they can and can't do, what they can and can't read, what they can and can't write. It is not the job of some librarian or no offense to librarians, I love librarians, or some censorship official to say, you cannot read that. On the ALA website as well, it said that the people that are most likely to complain about a book are parents. Now, I understand why parents complain, oh, I don't want my kid reading this. I think that if you have a problem with your child reading a book, you should address that by yourself and not make sure that nobody else can read the book. Everyone has entirely different views. We are all raised on different religious views, political views, moral views. Everyone has different views, so it's not your job to decide what other people can and cannot read. I believe that that is insane, but then again, that is just my opinion. My next issue with banning books is the precedent of it. It can assume you want to ban a book for whatever reason you want to ban a certain book. There's not really a precedent that you can set, like we're banning the book because of this, this, and this. Every book is different, and it's a different way. Like you can't judge a children's book the same way as you would judge 50 Shades of Grey. Like it doesn't really work like that. I don't know how you can have something in stone that will say these are reasons why we ban books. I don't understand. And growing up, I was always taught that you should be able to read whatever you want, and you shouldn't have restrictions placed on you by other people that think they know better. So that was kind of my rant about banned books. Now I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite banned books. I do not have all of them with me, so I apologize in advance. Now, the books that I'm going to be talking about aren't necessarily some of the most well-known banned books, but these were just a few that I saw on lists that didn't really shock me, but I thought it was interesting that they were there. The first book I'm going to talk about is Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl by Miss Anne Frank. I think everyone has at least heard of this book by now, but if you haven't, this book was written during the Holocaust in World War II, and the author of the book is Anne Frank, a 13-year-old girl. And the book is actually her diary. After the war, her father was the only one of the family that survived. He went back to when they were staying, found the diary, and decided to publish it. Now, I adore this story for many reasons. I believe that it is such a good portrayal of what life was like during World War II for the Jews. I just think it shows a different perspective. It's not just a historian 50 years later saying what happened. It's someone's actual perspective. They were there in the moment. You get to hear and see their thoughts and what was going on. Now, people may ask, oh, why is this book banned then if it's so good? The reason that it's usually banned is because it does contain some sexual content, which may be a touchy subject for some people, and the first time that I read this, I was in school, and that was an issue that was gone over, but I believe that some of the content shows what goes on in the life of teenagers. I mean, it's gonna happen. The life of teenagers isn't some happy little thing that you can just tie up in a bow. There are some more explicit issues that you kind of have to go over, and if you don't want to read that, then that's good for you, but you shouldn't ban it for other people. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Paterson. I love this book growing up. This was one of my favorites when they made the movie. I actually liked the movie, but this book is about two kids. Their names are Jess and Leslie, and the whole book kind of focuses on them. They go into the woods and have kind of like these magical adventures in fictional lands that they created. Now, everyone knows the ending of this book because it is one of the most sad endings ever. It was one of the first books that made me cry. At first, since I have not read this in a while, I was questioning why this book was banned. I did some research. Apparently, the main character swears too much, and it is not religious. Which, I understand if language, but it's a children's book. I really don't expect them to be dropping F-bombs every other way, and I even read somewhere that they considered it satanic. If you guys understand this, then let me know, but I consider myself a religious person. I do not understand why a children's book can be considered satanic. I have a hard time kind of picturing that. Maybe it's because they're in like magical lands, but it is a story. I don't know. If you guys can explain that to me, then let me know. But I'm not trying to offend anyone. If you believe that, I don't know. And the last book that I'm going to be talking about today, I consider to be the most ironic in this discussion, and that is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I had to read this book for my English class last year, and I adored it. It was my favorite book that I read in school all year. This book focuses on a dystopian society where reading books is kind of considered sacrilegious, and there are these firefighters that go around, and their job is to burn books. And the main character kind of figures out what is wrong with this society and why censorship is so bad. The main theme of this book in actuality is censorship. Now, that was the main reason I love this book, because I'm into politics, so censorship is a topic that really interests me, and I loved reading about this. And I just think it's so funny not funny, just ironic that this book is banned, because that is the purpose of the book. To show that books should not be banned, you should be able to read and obtain the knowledge that is inside a book. And people ban it because it's considered, I don't know, like sacrilegious or something. It's not trying to, like, put ideas in your head to go against the government. It's putting ideas in your head to show the dangers of censorship and what can happen when it goes and blows out of control. So, to sum up my video, if you obviously couldn't tell, I am not for banning books. So, just remember that in this week of kind of celebrating banned books, spread awareness of censorship and kind of look for it where you go. Like, what books are banned at your library, or what books aren't you supposed to read? If you guys wanted to know any more of my thoughts about banned books, I recently did 2 blog posts about it. I have been starting up my blog again, so I would really appreciate it if you guys would check out my blog. I'll link the post down below. So if you have any thoughts on this topic, then let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you again soon.